Hello, good morning and good evening. Welcome to NFSC English Program Fringe, episode 496. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. My name is Julia. Joining me today is the co-host Jairus. Jairus, can you please greet to our audience?
Hello,
Thank you.
Julia. Hello, everyone. It's great to be on the show again with Julia. Thank you. Hope we
Thank you
have a
very
wonderful
much.
time.
It's a great honor to have you actually, because I really love to hear what you're going to, discuss about the topics today. So today we are talking about some accidents or incidents or whatever you call it. One is within China, the communist China. The other one is in America. First of all, let's have a look about the first one. Just today is Tuesday, just Monday, actually very recent Monday. Actually, it was revealed that 11 young students lost their lives in Northeast China. The city is called GETTR, Heilongjiang province, one of the three northeast provinces, the furthest one actually, further north, close to Russia. In the in the school number 34, middle school, 11 students lost their life during their volleyball competition. You would be surprised to hear about this. What happened? What happened during the competition? Is it fierce competition? No, actually not. It was very pleasant one. But while they were playing, and there were also other, people standing by watching. While they were, having this competition, suddenly the roof of the gymnasium collapsed, burying all this into the debris. So first of all, let's have a look about the scene, and our director will show us a video. Thank you. Actually, this was the scene that the rescuers were trying to, find the last one they could test. There was another one in the debris. They were trying to rescue the victim, but eventually the victim was pulled out of the debris, but she lost her life already. All the students were female students because it was a female competition of volleyball. So the strange thing was actually this competition was held on Saturday, but the report of these loss was done one day later on Monday, yesterday, 24th. That was really strange. You could feel that. And it was due to the crying of the parents, a lot of questionings to the authority that they couldn't hide anymore. And it went public. It went viral actually in China. So I would like to ask Jerry to add more details into it, please.
Yes, I was checking the news online. It was said the instruction company played the instruction company put a lot of perlite. It's kind of a amorphous volcanic glass on the ceiling, top of the ceiling of the gymnasium. Why? I still haven't figured out yet, but it was uh, it was done illegally. So they were not supposed to put this. According to Wikipedia, perlite is an amorphous volcanic glass that has a relatively high water content, typically formed by the hydration of obsidian. It occurs naturally and has the unusual property of greatly expanding when heated sufficiently. So in the report, it says because they violate the regulation, they put this kind of volcanic glass on the top of the ceiling of the gymnasium because the raining and other reason they causes the collapse. That could be one of the reason, but we know in Chinese, in mainland China, CCP China, they have the Tofu Dreg projects because the steel they use often are not upstandard as well. Not only the steel, but the cement they use is also not up to standard. So you combine all the different situation, different thing happening. You don't have a good quality of steel. You don't have a good quality of cement. Then you don't. Then you put some extra material, this volcanic glass, when they experience extreme heat and water cause them to expand, so to make them too heavy for the roof to stand. Oh, that's only the our reason. We all know. We all came from CCP China. You always have the top officials or top contractor who took most of the money. So they will subcontract to a different company. Eventually, when this project came to the construction company or the real contractor who are doing the work, they get a little bit of money, very, very little. So what they do, they have to cut the corners. We always say, okay, American people, American project, we always say they don't tend to cut corners. Chinese always cut the corners. Even when I was in China, I have friends, family members who were working in the highway as a constructing worker. He always told me the same thing. People are always cutting the corner. They have a certain standard of cement. No, they will lower to the second or third level to keep the cost low. So then they can make money. So it's it's a sad thing, but it's happening not only to this gymnasium or stadium, a small stadium gymnasium, but it happens all over in China. People basically they have to cut a corner if you want to make money, you want to survive. That's basically the fact, because the big money was taken by other corrupt officials and other businessmen. So this is the fact. On the other hand, I feel so sad. Nobody care about the life of the people. So if people have faith, they believe in God, whether the businessmen or whether the workers, they won't do this, right? They don't care. They don't care about people. They don't care about whoever will stay here, whoever. They just don't have the conscience. So that's the moral reason. I'll just comment on this, but that's a sad fact. It happens everywhere. We know in Sichuan's earthquake, it happened. It happened everywhere. It's still, unfortunately, we have to say, it will still happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jairus, for your comment. You really, tells us, the key reasons why these kind of things are happening in China, and also you told us about, how people's lives are treated, not respected, just treated in China. So this actually, one of the parents we could hear, we didn't play it here because in Chinese language. So we just basically tell what happened, and you can really tell about how frustrated and how saddened the parents were when they were treated this way, apart from losing their own children. One parent was, very, very angry. Even though he was angry, he still tried to calm himself, because he knew that if his behaviors were, beyond the certain level, he would be in deep trouble, even though he lost his own daughter. So he said, tell me, you guys told me that my girl is gone. And I said, I haven't seen her. All the children look the same, in the same uniform, the gym's uniform, and they were, covered with blood and dust and dirt. And how I can tell it was my child? Let me identify her. And she said, it might be her or might not be her, but they wouldn't allow him to do so. He was not allowed to identify, and he said actually, his daughter was he was told his daughter was the second one to be taken out, dug out from it, and they didn't do it in a timely manner, or sending them to the hospital, doing the right thing, and the government is not doing anything. The government, the authority, the local authority, only sent, the police or public security staff to keep order, and they were in the scene. We could see I remember we could see the conversation or the scene. They were like not helping. With the scene, with the rescue, but they were gardening those parents. They were there to make sure that they wouldn't do anything chaotic. And that's the government. In China, when something happened, they know it would happen, because they know. I will show you some the Tofu Dreg project video later. They know one day this will happen. If it is not happening, it's their good luck. If it is happening, it's natural. So they know that, and they always prepare to cover up when things happens. They are ready, always ready. And the parent also was very angry about no communication, about hours and hours, like 5-6 hours waiting there outside the hospital, in the hospital, but there was no communication. They couldn't see any doctors. They only see, those, police people there telling them, your child has lost her life. That's it. So this treatment was just insane, was inhuman. These kind of things I said before, and Jared said as well, it happens everywhere. And for us, Chinese people, even though we are overseas, when we heard of these things, we were not that surprised, because we know it like a bomb, hidden bomb there. It can happen anytime. So please let our director to show us a video. Yeah, let's have a look.
This is Tofu Dreg construction, China's poorly constructed buildings, made with foundation and building materials that are poorly mixed due to a lack of funding. That's because the project lead and management swallowed up money due to rampant corruption and graft. It's an ongoing issue in China. The result is dangerous living quarters and infrastructure that are prone to collapse, like bridges, roads, and buildings. In 2008, an 8.0 magnitude earthquake took many buildings under, including hundreds of school buildings and many many were Tofu Dreg projects. It killed thousands of students and tens of thousands of lives were claimed. The CCP covered it up as it was close to the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, and any subsequent investigations by citizen journalists were punished, including jail time. I'm David Zhang. This is China Insider. Subscribe for more on China.
Okay, from this is just a glimpse of what is happening in China everywhere. Many other things that are very shocking. Actually, when you Google on internet, you can see a lot of them, a lot of bridges, buildings. I remember in Hainan, I think it's a whole tall building. It's like high-rising building, and it collapsed like this. 90 degrees, the whole building was, down. And I remember, it's very funny. I remember the glasses, the windows were intact. So because of the incident, that company who, manufactured those glasses became famous because, it's not broken. Yeah, it's very, very good for them, actually, but it's tragic. And Jairus mentioned already why this happened, and we all know that, but we didn't know how serious this kind of corruption was until Miles Guo revealed to us. One project was approved. Once it was approved, the approval from the authority was a lot of money you have to pay, be it the land or the building, and then maybe already the majority of the profits were taken from, just selling the land or selling the approval, and then the builders were doing these jobs. Actually, they didn't have enough to survive, and they had to pay for their workers. And we knew so many times that the workers actually couldn't have money for their bread and butter or for their meals because no money was given from their boss, because their boss couldn't afford, giving the money, giving the wages to them on time because of the corruption of the very top officials. That's it. They are so bad, including those, Wang Qishan, even Xi Jinping, all these, they are very, very corrupted, beyond our imagine. Okay, I pass this to Jairus again. Maybe something to add up for him before he introduced the second topic for us. Thank you, Jairus.
Right, I just want to echo what Julia said. Also, I heard the interview or the video posted by the parents. One of the parents, he said, "You see, we have this accident, right? We're being reasonable. We are not posing any threat to the government or doing us any protest. But no city officials came, no medical professional came to talk with us what was happening. But you came a bunch of a large group number of police, right? So that's the sad reality in China. So like I said, when the builder or people who are doing business, they don't have faith. They don't care about people's life or death. They care only about whether they make money or not. So that's the current moral decay of the Chinese society. So basically people, they don't have a conscience. If they have a conscience, I recall, or if I reflect, how can we sleep in the evening? I just can't. I was one of the people who live in that kind of atmosphere. So my conscience became dumb. I did some from the current point of view from as a Christian. I felt something I did at that time I will never do it now, right now. But at that time, I just don't have that conscience. I just did it anyway for my own good, right? So, but I reflect back. I found, wow, how could I do this? I just with the conscience I have right now, I couldn't do it. My mom found out I changed dramatically. She said to me, "Oh, you become too nice." Even you were not like that when you were in China, so you don't have a so sensitive conscience like you do right now. I that's why I'm I'm seeing the situation. I'm seeing the tragedy. I'm feel uh, painful in my heart. I'm not only losing 11 lives, but the people's the heart and heart. They don't have a conscience. They don't care. Only it when it happens to them, but it's too late.
Mhm.
So many people do the same thing. Not only the contractor or the business people, they steal the. We all see the news. They steal the cover of the. What's the in the yeah,
Sure.
sewer pipe. Yeah, because for their own good, they just many people they just stole that for selling a couple. I don't know, maybe 20 uh, RMB, or I don't know how much they sell, but for their own small good, they don't care about people. Every more than normal Chinese people are behaving like that. They don't care. They don't care about other unless this happened to them. So because they lost the conscience. Then seeing the government, seeing the society how or the institution how they react. It's the same thing. They don't care about people losing their children. They only care if you use this opportunity to promote a revolt or instability to pose threat to the government, to threat to my own party or my own position, because we
Yeah.
know if there a revolt or something instability happen may cause the local officials to lose their positions. So
Yeah.
people don't care about others. They really care about themselves. But eventually, you see the boomerang effect. Eventually, they will all come back to themselves
Yeah.
because we don't care about others. People steal the cover of the sewer pipe. We don't care. We don't report. We don't care. If we see some evil thing, we don't report it. We don't care. But eventually, the society is running like this. The
Yeah.
boomerang effect will come back to us eventually, not by chance, but eventually. We see all the corrupt officials. They try to bribe. They try to take Mao's school back home. But eventually, we saw all of them got indicted, put into prison. Why? Because this
Yeah.
boomerang effect. We have to, the Chinese citizen, they have to understand. You have to be a good citizen. You have to be a person of a conscience. You have to behave with a good conscience, whether you're doing a project, whether you're doing your product for exporting, or whatever you do, acting with your conscience. Then eventually we can solve this problem. But I don't think they can solve this problem beside uh, this. So that's why we are taking down the Chinese Communist Party. Once the Chinese Communist Party is there, it doesn't believe God, doesn't is even against God, even promoting itself as God.
Yeah.
So like Xi Jinping, eventually, so they created this atmosphere from top to the bottom. So the Chinese people are not able to avoid this kind of misfortune. So we have to take down the CCP, not only taking down the CCP, but we have to build a structure, like Mao Zedong mentioned, a new federal state of China. We have a one vote, one person, one vote. We have a democratic government, and we have a new federal state of China, a group of whistleblowers from without to to be supervising them, or to be a third party to watch over them, to make sure there is a fair election. We have to have religious freedom. We have to educate the Chinese people to be a better citizen, a citizen with a good faith, and good conscience. So there's a lot of other things we can do after we're taking down the CCP. But the first step is to take down the CCP. So whether we talk domestic news or international news, we cannot avoid this topic. We have to take down the CCP to change the regime or change the structure of the Chinese society fundamentally. That's what Mao School was for when he founded, when he and Stephen Bannon founded a new federal state of China, right? You have to change the system. Changing the system, destroy the CCP system is only our step number one. Then we have to rebuild the society, rebuild the people's conscience, rebuild the culture, rebuild the business culture, rebuild everything, rebuild the law system. There's a lot of work to do. I have to. I'm optimistic on one side, but I'm still a little pessimistic on the other side. It takes maybe several generations to really change China and avoid this happen. But before that, unfortunately, we will still see this in news because a lot of the structures or building were built in back 20, 30, 50 years ago. They're gonna have this problem. Yeah. Hand over to Julia for your final comments so we can.
Wow, I really enjoyed what you were talking just now. It was the core of NFSC, New Federal State of China, because we know how badly the Chinese, people's faith, structural, society structure, I would say, and all morals, how badly they were ruined and destroyed by the CCP. That's why we say CCP is evil. It's evil not only to the Chinese people, but now it's spreading to the Western world as well, especially to America. So especially those American sellouts are cooperating with the CCP in order to gain their own benefits by selling American people's interests. So all these we can see, it's the CCP, very evil, beyond your imagination, I would say. Even though we are Chinese, sometimes when we heard about things like that, we, drop our drawers, really couldn't believe that, especially when Mao School revealed those, the vital things to us. We dropped our drawers. Really? At the beginning, we actually doubted what he said, but eventually all the intels of what he told the audience us are, verified one after the other. It's surprising. And it has surprised the Western world. Now they started to put more resources onto China study because they have realized that the threat is from the CCP. Never ever thought so before. They thought, oh, CCP, easy, piece of cake for us. Now they realize not that easy, right? So because of our program, this topic we can talk for very many days actually, but I think we better move to the next one. And Jairus has prepared this for us. Jairus, please.
Yes. Basically, they are connected. I want to bring a principle or a theory from the Chinese herbal medicine or Chinese medicine. They call bioholography. It's basically saying, for example, I'll give you an example to explain. For example, we have so many acupuncture in our body, right? You can find that acupuncture to use that acupuncture point to heal some of your diseases. So one of my friends is an acupuncturist. He told me he just healed. He said all these acupuncture points in your whole body can be reflected in your other bone. So if you find all the acupuncture point at the bone, you can also heal your the disease in all your body. Or if you find any feet, on single feet, you have all the acupuncture point to reflect to your whole body.
Yeah.
Even 1 ear. So one of my the Christian brother who brought me into the law, he's a acupuncturist. He always do the acupuncture for us with a certain special seed put it to the actual point on my ear, so you have to press every day to adjust your body. He always doing this in love. So basically, what Bell holography says, if you examine a small thing in detail, even a leaf, you can find the whole picture of the tree. For example, if you are very good with, even your botanist, the disease of leaf, what's the problem the whole tree is. So basically, we were talking about a very small issue within China, but it reflects a big fundamental structural problem within China. They don't have faith. They don't have legal or super, it's monitoring system. Of course, the next topic is in America. We always say, okay, in America, it takes like half a year, even a year, to fix the elevator. I mean, the big elevator in the metro station is literally 2 people, only 3 people working there. Half a year close, even a year they fix, but they do a good job. We found American people are not like those Chinese people are cutting the corner, because they have this moral foundation or the Christian value in depth to their way of living, and they have a legal system, they have a principle, they even have they have this super relatively complicated system to monitor or to supervise what people were doing, to take people their response behavior into account, right? Accountability. But we have a next video. We have some God acts. Even even nobody is not a Dreg project, but we have a big warehouse in America was taken down by a tornado, but around the facility, many people, ordinary people, even there was I'm not sure, a kindergarten or preschool was intact. Nobody got hurt. So I saw the firefighter post this online. They said, "Wow, there must be a God. Must be God. God must exist, because people or preschool around the facility was not damaged at all. Nobody died over there, but this facility was taken into crash." We see. We will have the. We don't have enough time, but we'll have the director to play this short video. Let's guess what building it is and what the message it brings about. Thank you. Please roll this video. Now. Okay, we'll give Julia some time comment first, and now talk back. Thank you.
Thank you, Jairus. It's interesting to see that there's no injury of people or and other buildings were intact, but only some homes and this large Pfizer warehouse were taken down. It was a great job. Thank you, God. It's really so. A lot of things people, especially people who don't have faith, may not understand why this kind of thing happened. It does happen. Actually, yesterday in our news program, we talked another piece of news related with these COVID vaccines. Recently, actually, the daughter, I just love that little girl, the daughter of Johnson Johnson's, one of Johnson Johnson's executives just died. She was like a teenager, very young, 10 something. She died very quickly after the vaccination. And it was heartbroken, but it also says something to us. When you do things, especially the bad things, they accumulate. They accumulate to a point, to a breaking point, that something bad will happen to you. And some people call it karma. We don't say so. We would say retribution. It will come back to you. One, you are not prepared for it, but you've done so much bad things. So in what we want to say, I want to say is, don't just think you can rule the country, you can rule the society, or you can rule the world like Xi is about to do so. You can't do it, because there is a master in this earth. You have to admit it, because only by admitting so can you behave accordingly. It's just like a very simple thing. It's just like you go to your neighbor's home, and you talk with neighbor for a while, and you said, this house is mine. Can you do that? It's not yours. You cannot claim it. But we human, the little ants, especially those kleptocrats, those top officials, or especially the very top one like Xi Jinping, when their power has come to their highest level, they would become very evil. Like those in the history, like those people who are notoriously known by our people as well. They have reached to the point that the only evil things could sacrifice them, and that one of them was to control the whole world. Control. They want control. I don't know if you give the world to me, if I would do so. Probably not. But it's all those people who are, how to say them, they have actually, we understand, we analyze them. Actually, we found these kind of people have one symptom, common symptom. They are crazy. They are psychopaths, and they just do things in a very strange way. They want all the things beyond our control, beyond our imagination. Like Xi Jinping, he was already having the highest power in China, but he's not stopping there. Even though he's moving around every night to several places, he can't stay in one place to sleep. He has to move to 2 or 3 other places, because he's afraid of being assassinated. So you're living in such a fear, but you are still trying to conquer the world. We can't imagine that. But God understands this kind of people. God said those people, they are hypocrites. They are evil, and they have to be taken back. And not only taken back, they will be sent to the worst torture in this world. So for us, ordinary people, we just don't admire their power. We know they are, crazy. They are not healthy mentally. So for us, what we need to guide us is we need to have faith, because if you don't have faith, it's like a building you don't have a support, so it will collapse. The heavier it is, the taller it is, the quicker it will collapse. So you have to have something to support you within, and this one is so important. I remember I talked to some fellow fighters before about that old lady in the book of what is called. It's about a psychiatrist who survived the concentration camp. It was very famous. He told us an old lady in her 70s. She survived the hardest hardship there, but a lot of young people, like in their 30s, 40s, died. They either, died because of the no support, and then you could become easily sick, or they committed suicide. But this old lady survived it very well, actually, because of the faith. Every day he talked to the tree outside, the moon outside from the ceiling, a little bit, image there. He said, God. She talks to God. Eventually, she was saved perfectly. Back to you, Jairus. I think time is up.
Yes, our time is almost up. I'll just wrap this up very quickly. Even though this it's not Tofu Dreg project like the Chinese story, but it's the same, because we use the theory I mentioned, like about holography. If you see a small thing, you know the whole picture. When we see this video, we know America is sick. America is sick. Wall Street or the big money firms, they control the narrative. They do not allow the right information, right medicine to come on the market. They are making money. They are killing people with the civilized, scientific mask.
Yeah.
So basically, they are the same. They don't have faith either. They lost their conscience as well. So it's the same in principle, but different in disguise, in formatting. We, as a new federal state of China, our call is not only to rebuild China, but help the America to be awakened again. Both patriots and fellow fighters, we have a long way to go, but God is with us. Today is our show, and we thank you for your time. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, our Derek Congleo. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice week.